Hi, everyone. I am Mary. I'm back here today with another sponsor interview, our Backpage sponsor, actually, for the Broken and Beloved Project, Lindsay with Euphoria Salon. And I can't wait to dive into more of what she is all about, but then also just how her mission and our mission align so much with building confidence in people. Obviously, as a hairstylist, she's an artist of her own and is helping women all the time with doing that.
I started doing hair about 10 years ago. I was a single mom of one child, and I was really struggling financially. And for me, I had a bit of an ego. I thought being a hairstylist was very cliche to not going to school or, trying to figure out what I want to do. So I'm just going to be a hairstylist kind of thing. So I had a little bit of a hesitation in the beginning, but I just decided to do it. And ever since, I've absolutely fallen in love with doing hair. I think it aligns really well with my personality and who I am. I get bored extremely easily. So always having something creative to do and working with people and helping people are like all in a nutshell, like exactly what I love doing. So yeah, like I said, it's been 10 years. I've owned my own business now for 2, actually going on 3. And I absolutely love it. It's a passion. It's not a job for me.
So something really special about Lindsay is that she was actually part of the Broken and Beloved Project. I think it was the first round,
Yep.
the very first time that we
During
launched
COVID.
this during yeah, oh my gosh. It was a crazy time. I remember you were going through it. There was a lot of changes going on in your life. We kind of simultaneously were going through some really big transitions. And so it was really cool to pull this together, which is part of the reason why I started the Broken and Beloved Project. It's really my healing journey, mapped out of different tools and resources in different ways of using visualization, like portrait therapy, etc., to be able to just restore and reconnect with our body, but then also everything that goes along with that. It's not just a one size, this is the only thing that you get to do. There's so many multiple layers to it. So she got to be a part of the experience the first time around. And so it was really, really cool to have you come on for this year as a sponsor to pay it back and pay it forward in this other way, to be able to come alongside these ladies and then everybody that's part of the community too. So maybe tell us a couple of highlights of your experience as far as being in the Broken and Beloved Project and what you kind of took away from that.
This all started during COVID, and it was kind of a rocky moment in my marriage at the time. And really, I was just trying to figure out ways to heal myself so that I could be a better wife. Little did I know that I was actually in a very bad situation that I probably was in way too long. And so when I talked to Mary about the program, I thought this is perfect for me. And we kind of dissected a little bit of why it would be great for me because of just things that we had talked about in the initial interview process of it to see if I was a good fit for the program. So it's kind of funny because I look back on videos and pictures of myself and I see the difference in how I carried myself before and how I carry myself now. And I think that not only is the program really, really great in finding yourself, but also getting into a community with other women who are in a similar situation. Or even if it is a little bit different, you're all kind of trying to figure it out. And so going through it myself, watching other people go through it, and then now seeing the beginning and the end of the new group of women, it's been really cool to watch. So yes, I fully believe in this program. I think it's wonderful for really any woman. I mean, anybody, because it wasn't just about my stuff that I needed to heal or work through, but also my self-esteem, how I saw myself either physically or who I am as a person, really just trusting who I am and owning it and loving myself. because I don't think I did before. I was very unhappy, and you could really see it actually.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. Like I said, when I look back, I'm like, I could see myself and I looked unhappy. I looked like I was miserable. So I like seeing that change physically through other people and myself. So I had to be a part of it again. It was just a no-brainer for me.
A lot of our sponsorships, actually all of them for next year, include some form of type of photo package. And we do that because then it's a tax write-off for you as a business owner, which is super helpful with deductions and just making things a little bit easier, because then you can write it off as an expense. But we do things a little differently with how we advertise. We're not just printing something in a magazine, we're also drawing people into the community. So now that these ladies are going to be going through this second portrait therapy session, which is their boudoir session that they're doing, they're starting to get the prepping and priming for that. And one of the things that I got to do with Lindsay today was actually do a consultation for hair extensions. A lot of times, one of the things that can kind of strike down a woman's confidence, especially somebody in our age group, like mid-30s entering to 40s, our hormones start to change and our hair starts to thin. And that can be, for me, that has been one of the things that I've been kind of losing a little bit of like my own confidence of like, no, I don't like this. And so I've had a few different reasons for hormone changes, but it's definitely been a journey for me between weight loss that I've been experiencing and fluctuation of just diet, and everything has caused a lot of differences to happen. So even as I'm thinking about how I'm progressing and working on myself, and these are all good things that are happening in my life, but there's like a transition period. Yeah. So that's a great segue for you to, I think you should definitely talk about your new services, because I think that is something that a lot of women, especially when they come in for shoots, because we see most women who are in their mid-30s and 40s, they have a lot of insecurity around their hair.
I did just get certified in a series of different types of hair extensions. And I did stick to mostly cutting, coloring, all that stuff. That's great. But through the process of like COVID, like the aftermath, I saw a lot of women losing hair. A lot of women, whether it be from COVID, the stress of not working, or like not having, that income that they needed, just dealing with their own personal lives, going through that change, that time frame, like I can't even tell you. Like, it was like a pandemic of its own.
Oh my God. The hair loss is a pandemic.
Yeah.
It's a pandemic in my shower every time I brush my hair.
Exactly.
It's a pandemic.
It is. But it wasn't only the fact that I was trying to figure out what the causes were for these things, and I was also trying to help women try and figure out if it was like something hormonal. Like, this isn't just... I don't want to just mask it. So that's a service that I offer as extensions, but like, what's causing this issue? I have people that I can refer you to. It's not always just go to the doctor and figure out, if your levels are off, because sometimes they'll tell you that they're fine, and then you're going to feel gaslighted and you're going to be not happy. So just having those resources available to you. I know hair, I know the body and how your body responds to stress and other things, but if you're just trying to get that feel for confidence, I love the option of getting hair extensions, because then you get that the fix now, sort of. Like, it might not be a long-term thing you do forever. You can, but it's also sometimes like, it's just going to make you feel better in the moment, and let's work towards getting your hair back to health. That's really the ultimate goal, and the extensions are just part of that.
So similar to what we do with portraits, right? Because a lot of times women are like, oh, I have to be this size, I have to be this weight, I have to have this body composition before I can sit for photos. And that's when I'm going to feel like I deserve to take care of myself. And so I think it's very similar to what you do in that realm of like, let's just make you feel good right now, because think about it, like, how much more productive are you? How much more likely are you to start going after a certain goal or start going after something when you feel good? Like, it's like this vicious cycle. If you constantly are punishing yourself because you haven't attained a certain goal, or you haven't figured it out yet of, whatever it is, and you just keep putting yourself on the back burner over and over and over again, then you're going to remain stuck in the same place. You're not going to make any progress. So I know it sounds silly, but sometimes it's really all that it takes. It's like just getting your aesthetics of your house set up really nice, because when things are clean and organized and feeling good, you're gonna show up different. You're gonna have more energy. It's everything to do with energy. So having, you know, the extra volume in my hair is going to help me feel like, okay, great. Like I want to I look good, so I want to be seen. Yes. So I want to be seen. So I want to put myself out there. I want to be visible. Whereas like right now, I'm just like, I'm just going to throw my hair back and I'm just going to put a hat on and I'm just going to pretend that this problem doesn't exist as my body's making this transition. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to hide myself. I don't want to be limited by these things. So a way that we can look at things like with our hair, with doing photo shoots and things like that, is these are bridges. I feel like these are bridges. It's not going to fix the underlying things that we're trying to work on, right? Some of it's going to be acceptance, right? Some of it we are just going to have to accept that this is the way that our body is, and then having that constant and reinforcement of being in front of the camera or having this and looking in front of the mirror, those things are going to start to settle in just fine. Other things are just temporary things that we're working on as we make shifts and transitions. So what I always like to say is like the fact that you're showing up and you're actually wanting to make a difference, to feel better, is like enough confidence right there, like to just do that. And so I never tell people like, oh, you know, it's just Photoshop, this isn't going to be in real life. Well, it's at least bridging that gap for you that you're having in your brain, right? That you don't feel good. And if we can do that visualization, even with hair, with Photoshop, with getting in front of the camera, changing the lighting, it makes such a huge impact on your life. It starts to change the way you treat your kids even. If you don't feel good about yourself, you're not going to treat people around you well.
Totally true.
You're not. You're going to be like, I feel like a bridge troll. So everybody's getting treated like I'm a grumpy bridge troll. So it's
Did you sense a little guilt there for me? I was like, yeah.
Would you like to speak on? No. But it's true. Like, I feel like a lot of the women who are going through the project are moms or have been moms at some point. And so we want to put our family first. And so we constantly put ourselves on the back burner, and we don't do these things because like, oh my gosh, it would cost money for me to do a photo shoot or have hair extensions. But we're not realizing how much it's costing us truthfully when we don't feel good about ourselves. Like,
it's an investment in yourself,
which always benefits everyone around you. When you feel confident and you feel healthy and you feel good, that is what overflows to everyone else. So I think that's why I love working with Lindsay. And how can people get in touch with you? Where's some places that they can find you?
I'm available on, you can find me on Facebook. I have my schedule linked right on there. Facebook, Instagram. My handle is Euphoria Hair Salon. That would be Facebook, and then Euphoria with Lindsay, on my Instagram. So find me on social media. Otherwise, you can find me on Google. You could just Google me at Euphoria Hair Salon. I am in Green Bay. I'm the only hair salon called Euphoria Hair Salon, so you can't miss me. And you may book right online, or you can contact me. My phone number is also available. It's my personal number. You may text me, call me, whatever works, and I will get you in. And like I said, even if it's just to consult about it, you may not want to do it, but it's something that we can sit down and talk about. There's so many different options. Even if you wanted a temporary option, you could do clip-ins, or you could do, something that's not so permanent, or not necessarily permanent, but such an investment. So always worth doing a free consultation with me just to talk about it.
I love that she actually helped one of our clients last year with like a halo thing that she was able just to order off Amazon, but just even having the ability to talk to a professional to be like, which color should I get? And I think you ended up cutting it or toning it or something. I don't know. You did some extra stuff to help come alongside people. I love that you're willing to work with people and kind of like where they're at. So that's beautiful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today for this fun sponsor interview. And if you're watching this, if it's on YouTube, if it's on Facebook or Instagram, we'll be tagging her on all of these things and dropping the handles and things like that below, so that way you can definitely check those things out. And stay tuned for more with Lindsay and I. Bye.
Bye.